Okay, let's set the stage. Who here has ever scrolled through Shopee or Lazada during a big sale? You're just browsing, and then you see it. A shirt for 150 pesos? Free shipping, and it looks perfect too. And before you even think twice, you hit add to cart like it's the last slice of pizza at a party. But let's be honest. How many of us have actually stopped to wonder, who made this shirt? Where it came from? Or what happens to it after we've worn it twice and it's been shoved to the back of the closet or turned into the most unremarkable cleaning rag? I'm sure most of us have not. I didn't either until one day I realized how much my closet had grown. Not with pieces I loved, but with things I barely used. And then I remembered my mom, sewing my clothes when I was just a little girl. She'd spend hours stitching every detail, pouring effort into something that was meant to last. Those clothes weren't just mere pieces of fabric. They were time, tenderness, and love woven together. Now I wonder, would the person who made the same shirt feel the same way about it? Or did they make it in a hurry, under conditions I never want to imagine, just to keep up with our demand for cheap trends? I'm sharing this not to point fingers, but to remind us all, me included, that our choices have weight. Behind every bargain could be a person. Behind every trend, there's always a cost. And maybe, just maybe, it's time we start thinking about what we truly value. Together, we'll explore what goes beyond the surface level of our favorite brands, the lives behind them, and the impact we leave behind, not just in our closets, but on our planet. This is Fast Fashion, Slow Planet, the price tag of chasing trends. So, let's discover what's really behind those labels. Here in the Philippines, we love a good bargain. From Shein, Zara, to Shopee flash sales, we're always on this thrilling hunt for the next best deal. But let's take a moment to think about this. Why do we feel the need to buy so much? Is it because we really need these things? Or are we just following the culture of sulit deals and pauso trends? Our consumer habits are shaped by so many factors. Peer pressure, social media, and even the budol culture, which is a Filipino slang term for being easily swayed into making an unplanned purchase. You know, I was once a victim of that, but I mean, gosh, these influencers, they really have a way with words. But the point is, we've normalized buying in bulk, and many of us might have felt a sense of accomplishment when we snag a bargain, even if we don't really use or wear it. But here's the problem. This budol mindset has consequences, serious ones. So let's break it down. You buy a cheap t-shirt, you wear it once or twice. Then what happens? It fades, it tears, it goes straight to the trash. Multiply that by millions of people, and you've got a mountain of waste. The Philippines alone generates a staggering 267 million kilograms of textile waste each year. There is an insane and whopping amount of clothing in the world right now that experts believe there's enough to last the next 6 generations. But here's where it gets even more alarming. It's not only the discarded garments that are a problem, but the continuous cycle of pollution that fast fashion generates. Every time we wash synthetic clothes, microplastics are released into our water systems. Over time, these microplastics break down, harm marine life, enter the food chain, and contaminate the very food we consume. This is a crisis we cannot ignore. We need to face the uncomfortable truth. Our fast fashion obsession isn't just reflected on our shopping receipts. It's etched into the landfills, the oceans, and in the air we breathe. Now, the price tag on a certain shirt doesn't just reflect a bargain too. It carries a hidden cost. 1,130 lives. That's the price etched into the fast fashion industry after the 2013 Rana Plaza collapse in Bangladesh, where 1,130 workers tragically lost their lives due to the oversight of authorities when the building was constructed without proper permits. In the Philippines, for Filipinos like Emma Garcia, age 61, who worked in a garment manufactory for 13 years, her story is no different. She recalls the death of a young co-worker, a result of working in the sweltering, overcrowded space with poor ventilation and inadequate facilities, packed into a 3-story building with 6,000 others, Emma and her peers endured long lines for unsanitary toilets and health issues like UTIs caused by these harsh conditions. These stories serve as a reminder for everyone. Now, here's what we can do. What is the consumer's role? So, when we buy unethically made clothes, we're not just buying a product. We might unknowingly support a system that devalues human life. The price we save at checkout, it could be paid for by someone else. Someone we'll never meet, but whose dignity is tied to the thread of that cheap shirt. So ask yourself, who paid the real price for your bargain? Now, I stand here today to raise awareness, but I also stand here to ignite change. As consumers, we hold the power to shape demand. Every peso we spend sends a message, so let's send a clear one. Here are 3 out of the many ways we can make a difference. 1, buy less, choose better. Instead of chasing every trend, let's invest in high-quality pieces that last. 2, thrift or choose secondhand clothing. Giving pre-loved clothes a second life not only helps reduce textile waste, but also supports a more sustainable fashion cycle. And lastly, 3, recycle, repurpose, and repair. Before you toss out old clothes, think about how you can extend their life. Let's treat clothes like they're valuable, not disposable. But beyond just changing how we shop, we can change how we speak out. Through our choices and voices, we can demand better ethical practices. Social media may have been the cause of our impulse buying, but we can use it to advocate for ethical fashion, call out harmful practices, and push for brand transparency. Now, imagine a future where every piece of clothing in your closet has a story, not just of how it looked good on you, but how it was made ethically and sustainably. I know it's not easy to change habits. Fast fashion is designed to tempt us, to make us feel like we need more. But collectively, as a student myself, as individuals, as citizens of a global community, our choices matter. We can be the generation that shows the world that style doesn't have to come at a cost. We can buy less, buy better, and use our power as consumers to shape a more sustainable future. So, now I challenge you. Next time you go shopping, ask yourself these questions. 1, do I really need this? 2, can I find a similar item that's more sustainable or local? And lastly, 3, will I use this enough to make it worth buying? Together, we can turn trendy trash into lasting change, because we don't want a closet full of clothes to become a landfill full of regrets. At the end of the day, it's not just about looking good. It's about doing good. And trust me, there's nothing more fashionable than that. Now, before I leave, I would like to ask you this. What price will you pay for the next trend? Will it be the price of convenience or the price of our planet? Thank you.